grandfather's house, there was an old well, but as long as I can remember, no one ever took water from it. Not 10 years ago, not 20, not even 50. Grandpa always said there had never been any water there at all. And Grandma used to scare us by saying that a kikimora lived inside the well. My brother Vlad and I laughed for a long time at the name Kikimora. But one day she told us a terrifying story connected to that place. My grandfather built the house back in 1952. After getting married, my grandmother moved into the new home. Grandpa dug a deep well. There was no running water back then. He dug for days, but no water ever came. Eventually, he boarded the well up with thick logs, hoping for better times. Water was taken from a public pump near the house. Sometime later, strange things started happening. At night, someone began pulling those logs out from the inside. Chickens started disappearing, sometimes even sheep. Occasionally, whatever it was would tear them apart right in the yard. Grandma said it was a horrifying sight. Grandpa refused to believe in kikimoras and didn't fill the well in. He kept hoping water would eventually appear. But one night, closer to dawn, Grandma saw the creature that crawled out of the well. It had pale skin. It was extremely thin. Its skin was stretched tight over bone, and it had huge, unnaturally long fingers. According to her description, it looked very much like what people now call the rake, or the crawler. The well stood there for many years, never filled in, only covered with thick oak planks. Grandpa and Grandma passed away, and people eventually forgot there had ever been anything in that well. For some reason, these stories were never told to my father. Later, the house became a place where we spent our summers, something like a dacha. And one summer, I don't know how the idea came to us, but Vlad and I decided to see the creature from the well with our own eyes.
Of course, we didn't believe in any kikimoras.
We laughed about it, but the idea of filming a real rake, especially in Russia, was too tempting. That day we asked our parents if we could sleep outside in a tent near the house. Dad supported the idea. Mom was against it. We turned on a dim old lamp so we could at least see something. Vlad stole a piece of raw meat to lure the creature. Night fell. When our parents turned off the lights in the house, we placed the meat next to the boards covering the well and climbed into the tent. For almost 2 hours, nothing happened. Vlad finished his bag of chips and fell asleep. I could barely keep my eyes open when I suddenly heard the sound of boards being moved. I froze. I couldn't breathe. I needed to wake Vlad, but I was afraid to move. Gathering all my courage, I shook him awake. I put my finger to my lips and pointed toward the old well. Vlad stared at me with wide eyes. We tried not to breathe. The pounding of our hearts felt deafening. Then nothing. Vlad shrugged and whispered, asking why I woke him up if there was nothing there. I told him I heard the boards. He didn't believe me. Suddenly he jumped out of the tent. I tried to grab his pant leg, but I missed. Still shaking, I followed him outside. Vlad was gone. Panic hit me. Then he suddenly jumped out from behind and laughed loudly. He walked straight to the well. The meat was gone. Vlad accused me of hiding it to scare him. To prove he wasn't afraid, he decided to look inside the well. I tried to stop him, but he moved the boards aside and leaned over. Then he froze. I asked why he wasn't saying anything. No answer. I thought he was joking. So I stepped closer and looked inside myself. At the bottom of the dark well, someone was there. Something was sitting there, chewing on the piece of meat. A terrible fear gripped us. I screamed. My father turned on the lights and ran outside with a flashlight. He shined it into the well. But what he saw was Vlad lying there. They pulled him out. His arm was broken. He was covered in scratches and bruises. He was incredibly lucky to be alive. Our father ignored everything we said. He was furious. He said Vlad had simply fallen in, that no rakes existed. The very next day he filled in the well. And he did. Maybe the well was connected to underground caves. Maybe that's how the creature reached the surface. But we saw it. It exists. Maybe in Russia it's called something else. But it was exactly that. The rake. The crawler. We remembered it for the rest of our lives, and our grandmother was right.